Hiring for your small business? If you're not looking for professionals on LinkedIn, you're looking in the wrong place. That's like looking for your car keys in a fish tank. LinkedIn helps you hire professionals you can't find anywhere else, even those who aren't actively searching for a new job but might be open to the perfect role. In a given month, over 70% of LinkedIn users don't even visit other leading job sites. So start looking in the right place. With LinkedIn, you can hire professionals like a professional. Post your free job on linkedin.com/spoken today.
Millions of people have lost weight with personalized plans from Noom. Like Evan, who can't stand salads and still lost 50 pounds.
Salads generally for most people are the easy button, right? For me, that wasn't an option. I never really was a salad guy. That's just not who I am. But Noom worked for me.
Get your personalized plan today at Noom.com. Real Noom user compensated to provide their story. In 4 weeks, the typical Noom user can expect to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week. Individual results may vary.
Since 2013, Bombas has donated over 100 million socks, underwear, and T-shirts to those facing homelessness. If we counted those on air, this ad would last over 1,157 days. But if we counted the time it takes to make a donation possible, it would take just a few clicks. Because every time you make a purchase, Bombas donates an item to someone who needs it.
Go to bombas.com/ACAST and use code ACAST for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/ACAST, code ACAST.
Hello, and welcome to Voices from the Battlefield, part of Waterloo Remembered. The next extract is introduced by Anna Vakulenko and consists of 4 letters, 3 from Marshal Prince Blucher, writing to Count Kolkroyd, his wife, and Major General von Dobschultz, and from an anonymous senior officer in the Prussian army.
The following are 4 letters, 3 written by Field Marshal Blucher and 1 by an anonymous Prussian officer that provide different takes on the Prussian perspective. To His Excellency the General Count Kalkroyd, Governor of Berlin. Headquarters at Genappe, June 19th, 1815, 5:15 in the morning. I hereby acquaint Your Excellency that in conjunction with the English army under the Duke of Wellington, I obtained the completest victory that it is possible to gain over Napoleon Bonaparte. The battle was fought in the neighborhood of a few insulated houses lying on the road from this place to Brussels, and called La Belle Alliance, and I think there cannot be a better name for this important day. The French army is in a state of entire disorganization, and a prodigious quantity of artillery is taken. Time does not allow me to give Your Excellency any further particulars at this moment. I reserve to myself the communication of the details, and beg Your Excellency to publish this joyful news to the good people of Berlin. Signed, Blucher. To the Princess Blucher, written immediately after the battle. My dear wife, you well remember what I promised you, and I have kept my word. The enemy's superiority of numbers obliged me to give way on the 17th. But on the 18th, in conjunction with my friend Wellington, I put an end at once to Bonaparte's dancing. His army is completely routed, and the whole of his artillery, baggage, caisson, and equipage are in my hands. The insignia of all the various orders he had worn are just brought me, having been found in his carriage in a casket. I had 2 horses killed under me yesterday. It will soon be all over with Bonaparte. Signed, Blucher. Postscriptum, written by the prince's son on the road to Genappe. Father Blucher embraced Wellington in such a hearty manner that everybody who were present said it was the most affecting scene that could be imagined. To Major General von Dobschutz, military governor of the Prussian provinces on the Rhine, headquarters at Merbla Chateau, June 21st. Sir, it is with great pleasure I inform you that the consequences of the victory of the 18th continue to prove more and more brilliant. The enemy's army is entirely broken up, and has lost as near as we can calculate 300 cannon. Not a regiment of the enemies is together, and subordination has ceased among them. During the battle of the 18th, a French corps had penetrated to Wavre to operate on our line of communication, and hinder us from supporting the Duke of Wellington. This corps of the enemies was yesterday forced back by Lieutenant General von Thielmann, who was opposed to it at Wavre, as far as Namur, and Lieutenant General Thielmann probably occupied that place yesterday evening. Maubeuge was surrounded yesterday, and Landrecy and Aven will be so tomorrow. Signed, Blucher. Letter from an officer of high rank in the Prussian army. Genappe-sur-Oise, Niégy, June 24, 1815. The army has behaved gloriously. The Third Corps had to cover our rear while we were engaged. It had some severe setbacks to support, and fought without interruption on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. It was at first in a critical situation, but extricated itself very well. If we had lost the battle, this was our only dependence. Never was any battle so fine as ours at La Belle Alliance, never battle so decisive, and never was an enemy so completely destroyed. With some corps of the army we had got unperceived into the rear of the enemy, who with great superiority of numbers and still greater impetuosity had attacked the Duke of Wellington, and kept ourselves concealed in a wood. Just as the fate of the day was dubious, the British army had lost considerable ground, and the enemy was ready to strike another blow against us. We resolved, though our columns were for the most part not come up, to make the attack with 2 brigades only. We therefore burst out of the wood exactly in the rear of the enemy, and opened our fire. The enemy was now in a desperate situation, but fought, however, with a desperation suitable to it, and turned all his reserve against us. We maintained our position. The enemy brought up fresh troops against us, but we also became stronger every quarter of an hour. The firing became so violent that the enemy's cannon balls flew by us without ceasing, not to mention our own fire. I could scarcely hear the notices that were brought, and give the necessary orders, and though my voice is very powerful, I was obliged to exert it to the utmost in order to be heard. As our troops continued to be reinforced, we advanced cautiously but incessantly. It was a grand sight to see our battalions form into square masses, descend from the heights, which rise like terraces, preceded by their batteries and sharpshooters. Obstinate resistance, the enemy's army was broken, and fled in the utmost disorder. General Gneisenau resolved to leave him not a moment's response, put himself at the head of the troops, encouraged the tired men to follow him, and so with only a few cannon, which we fired from time to time, we drove him from all his bivouacs, and continually firing and cutting him down, we pursued till we at last reached the guards. Bonaparte had intended to stop at Genappe, but when he heard our cannon and our cavalry and infantry, though few in number, come up, he escaped from his carriage, defending himself with his pistols. Besides his hat and sword, his seal ring was also taken, and now blazes on the hand of the hero Gneisenau. We have got all his baggage, even his diamonds. The fusiliers sold 4 or 5 diamonds as large as a pea, or even larger, for a few francs. We have a large quantity of diamonds of a middle size, and one of the size of a pigeon's egg. The fusiliers have chosen out the finest as a present to the king. The subaltern officers of this battalion dined now upon silver. We did not halt till daybreak. It was the finest of my life. The moon beautifully illuminated the scene, and the weather was mild. General Gneisenau had again a horse killed by a cannon ball in the last battle, another twice wounded by musket balls, his sabre once bit out of the scabbard and once shot to pieces.
That was Anna Vakulenko reading 3 letters from Marshal Prince Blucher and another from an anonymous senior officer in the Prussian army. Stay tuned to the Napoleonicist, where more instalments of the Voices from the Battlefield series will be released throughout the day.
Planning for your next trip? Elevate your travel style with Quince. Quince has all the jet-setting essentials you'll want for your next getaway, like European linen, premium luggage options, buttery soft Italian leather bags, and so much more. And it's all priced at 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Plus, Quince only works with factories that use safe and ethical manufacturing practices. Pack your bags with high-quality essentials you'll be wearing for vacations to come with Quince. Go to quince.com/trip for free shipping and 365-day returns.